So in today's video, I'm going to be previewing Mansfield Town versus Bradford City. Then in the second part of today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my Game Week 17 League 2 score predictions. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 60 likes on today's video, that'd be absolutely class. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get your score predictions as well as your starting 11 as well down in the comment section down below. It's going to be a very, very tough game. Mansfield, one of the sides, are back for promotion. Actually backed them to win the league at the start of the season. Hasn't quite really worked out for them so far this campaign, but they started a very, very strong start to the season. Obviously, Leyton Orient, Northampton, Stevenage flying at the moment. Mansfield and a couple other teams in them playoff spots at this moment in time. Make sure you drop a like on today's video. Subscribe if you are new as well. Let's get into it. I tell a lie, at this moment in time, Mansfield Town aren't actually in the playoffs, but they're one of the many teams that are currently competing for a playoff spot. My team, though, Bradford City, we currently sit 6th in the table. After 16 games, we've got 7 wins, 6 draws, 3 defeats, 21 goals scored, 13 goals conceded, which is the second least in the whole league, joint second with Salford City and Tranmere Rovers, who are also on 13. That does leave us with a positive 8 goal difference and 27 points. Our last couple of games then have been a draw, a win and a loss. Them last couple of games then being a 1-0 defeat at home to Harrogate Town in the first round of the FA Cup, a 1-1 draw at home to Crawley Town, a 1-1 draw at home to Swindon Town, a 0-0 draw away at Grimsby Town, a 4-0 defeat away at Burton Albion in the Football League Trophy, a 1-0 win away at Salford City, and then just before that we had a 1-0 defeat at home to Stockport County. That then compared though to Mansfield Town, they're currently sat 9th in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 16 games they've got 8 wins, 3 draws, 5 defeats, 25 goals scored, 21 goals conceded, which leaves them on a positive 4 goal difference and 27 points. The last couple of games then have been a loss, a draw, a loss, a win and a win. Them last couple of games then being a 1-0 win away at Barrow in the first round of the FA Cup, a 5-2 defeat at home to Swindon Town. I believe that was like their first league home loss in a very, very long time. I think some of the only other team to beat them in like the past 400 days at home, something crazy like that. They also had a 0-0 draw at home to Newport County, a 3-2 defeat away at Crawley Town, a 2-1 win at home to Walsall, and then just before that, they had a 1-0 win away at Barrow. In that game against Newport County, James Perch did receive his marching orders though in the 59th minute, and then also in this game against Swindon Town, they got another red card with Hiram Boateng getting sent off in the 59th minute there. I don't know if either of them were multiple game bans, so they might be banned for this game. If not, their bans will have counted towards that game against Barrow. Obviously, Mansfield are one of the most experienced sides in the league, got some very, very good quality players in their team, spent a decent amount of money as well in the summer, bringing in players like Anthony Hartigan, give Hiram Boateng a 3-year deal. That's going along with players like Reese Oates. I know he's been injured so far this season, but he's a natural goal scorer at this level. Got some very, very good players in there. John Joel Toole, Ollie Hawkins, Stephen Quinn. They've got some real quality and quality in depth as well in their side. It's going to be a very, very tough game. One that I'm certainly not looking forward to, but it should hopefully be a great game of football. Now let's get into the team though that I would go with if I was Mark Hughes. So it is only a couple of days on now from that game against Harrogate Town, but it's very, very fresh in my mind. And one of the things that came out after that game was Harrogate Town not only beat us in terms of the scoreline, they also outrun us, which is absolutely embarrassing. Every single one of them players who was outrun by a Harrogate player playing in the same position should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, because that is the bare minimum that you can ask for as fans, is to put in your 110%. And if you're getting outrun by a team at home, that's absolutely embarrassing. But I would personally line up then in a 4-2-3-1 formation. I was debating maybe, do you go with a 3/5 at the back against a team like Mansfield, try and match them up, but more than likely we'll go with another 4 at the back formation, because I can't really see who else you maybe bring in apart from maybe Jan Songo for a bit more physicality, if they potentially chuck Ollie Hawkins up front, but I can't see them doing that. I think they probably will go with Will Swan, with obviously Reese Oates not being available. In goal, I would go with Harry Lewis, in my opinion one of the best goalkeepers in this league. Mansfield have also got another one of them better goalkeepers in the league, obviously got Christy Pym on loan from Peterborough United. 2 very good goalkeepers. They'll be both looking to prove their worth in this match. It was great to see him not actually be injured against Harrogate Town, because there were some injury concerns over him pulling, I think it was a back spasm actually, in training earlier on last week, but thankfully that seems to have all cleared now. Moving into the defence then, at right back I'd go with Brad Halliday. Don't think it was his best performance against against Harrogate, sorry. Don't think it was his worst in the world, but he's our best right back, so for me personally he has to start. 2 centre backs, firstly I would go with Matty Platt. He's been one of our most consistent performers so far this season. I've been really impressed with what I have seen from Matty Platt, and would partner in him once again with Romany Critchlow. I think both of them could have maybe done better for Harrogate's goal on Saturday. You know, I do would probably say that it's more down to the midfield, not really tracking their runners, with Daly being a central midfielder. I think it is more down to Smallwood and Gilead that he was allowed the freedom of the penalty area to get his shot off, so I was disappointed from that point of view. But in my opinion, Platt and Critchlow are our two best centre-halves this season. They've definitely won us more points than what they have lost us. So for me personally, them to have to play. And at left back, I would obviously go with Matty Folds. One of the more consistent players that we have seen so far this season. You always know what you are going to get with Matty Folds. Not a world beater, but he's certainly a very good player at this level, and he's really cemented himself as our first choice left back this season. Obviously, Liam Rideout still not available through to injury. Moving into the two central midfielders then. Firstly, I'm going to go with Ryan East. I think that's more obvious than the other central midfielder at this moment in time. I think Ryan East absolutely has to come back into the side for this game. If I could change the whole 5 of the midfielders from the last game, then I genuinely would do, but it's a little bit unrealistic to do that. I thought the midfield was absolutely awful. All 5 of them were genuinely shocking against Harrogate Town. East has to come in for me. He was really impressive in that game against Salford City, so for me personally, I'd like to see Ryan East get another opportunity. And partnering him, I'm going to go with Richie Smallwood, but if he has another poor game, then I struggle to see where he comes into the side. The only problem with that at the moment, that there isn't much competition for them central midfield spots. Moving in then to the front 3 behind the striker, we'll start out on the right hand side. It's got to be Scott Banks. I'm 99% sure Dion Pereira must have some sort of clause in his contract which states he has to start every single game, because there is no way that man should still be starting football matches. He's been dreadful. Is that a fair assessment of his return since coming back in from Luton Town? There's rumours that Luton are not happy with the amount of minutes that he has been getting. Obviously, he started every single game so far, which is more than probably what he has deserved since his return from Luton Town, apart from obviously that first game. I think it was against Walsall, I want to say. In that number 10 position, a man who we've not seen even involved in a matchday squad for a very long time. For me personally, I think Jake Young could be a very good attacking midfielder option. Harry Chapman's just seemed a little bit off it over the last couple of games now. While I think he's been growing into it more and more, and while his work rate is absolutely fantastic, I just don't see enough end product from Harry Chapman. When Jake Young has played, he's come up with moments of magic. You know, he's our second top scorer, and he's barely played so far this campaign. Traditionally, he has played off that left-hand side for us so far this season, but I'd like to see him get an opportunity in that number 10 role. Fairly quick himself. You know, he's much taller than Chapman, much more physical, so he can hold the ball up a little bit better as well, if that is something that we do need him to do. Chapman, like I said, though, hasn't been great over the last couple of games. Lee Angle hasn't really been taking his chances either. So for me personally, I'd like to see Jake Young start in that number 10 role. Let me know down in the comment section down below, what would your thoughts be on Jake Young starting in that role? On the left-hand side, I would go with Tyreek Wright. I think he has been a little bit quiet over the last couple of games, but he has shown his quality so far this season. So for me personally, he has to start on that left-hand side. It was great to see Abo Issa get half an hour, though, against Harrogate Town, so hopefully he can start getting his minutes into the tank and all that sort of stuff. We might even see him start in the next coming weeks as well. And up front then, for me, that would leave Andy Cook. Again, wasn't his greatest game against Harrogate, but once again, didn't really have all too much service. Came on off the bench against Harrogate Town at half-time, and he was up front sometimes with Lee Angle and then Verden Oliver, and he didn't really look like scoring because we weren't really creating chances. We didn't have a single shot on target against Harrogate Town, which is really, really poor. He does love a goal, though, against his former side. Obviously, he scored that 88th minute winner last season where we beat them 3-2. A crazy game. Probably one of the best vlogs I've ever done, so make sure you go check that out if you haven't already. On the bench then, for me, that would leave Colin Doyle, Jan Songo, Levi Sutton, Harry Chapman, Abo Issa, Lee Angle, and Verden Oliver, which means the players who miss out would be Heath Richardson, Joe O'Shaughnessy, Luke Henry, Timmy Odesina, Liam Rideout, Alex Gilead, Emmanuel Sidibe, Jamie Walker, and Dion Pereira. Now we're going to get into my Game Week 17 League 2 score predictions. Now, it's a little bit hard for me to do because a lot of the Game Week 17 matches have already taken place. Obviously, this game was meant to take place on the 10th of September. It was obviously postponed due to what happened at that time. A lot of them games have since been rearranged. Some of them have already played. We'll go through them results now. Stevenage beat Sutton United at 3-0. Walsall beat Northampton at 1-0. Hartlepool United beat Doncaster Rovers 2-1. Swindon Town beat Newport County 1-0. Barrow beat Colchester 3-1. And Tranmere drew 0-0 with Stockport County. In terms of my score predictions for the games that are taking place tomorrow, AFC Wimbledon versus Leyton Orient, I'm going to go with a 3-1 away win for Orient. Harrogate Town versus Carlisle United, I'm going to go with a 2-0 away win for Carlisle. Mansfield Town versus Bradford City, I'm going to go with a 1-0 home win there for the Stags. Rochdale AFC versus Salford City, I'm going to go with a 2-0 away win for Salford in that one. But that is where I'm going to leave it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 60 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be absolutely class. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already, with that post notification bell on. It's free to do, so, and it does massively help out. Thank you very much for watching, though. Have a great rest of your day. Shout out to our current tier 3 channel member, B Davies211, and I shall see you all very soon for another video. Peace.